you want to aim
Dead.
like this?
Be cat.
Oh, market door? Oh, window?
Or
What's
maybe you
here?
want it to look
Both be
like
there.
this.
Dinked one, dinked one. Oh, he's pushing.
But no matter how much you aim train or deathmatch, your shots usually end up looking like this.
Jumped out hut.
One outside.
He's on A.
My name is Louis, and I'm going to give you 7 reasons on why your shots may be looking like that, and how to actually practice and improve your aim. I haven't seen other coaches talk about some of these topics, so make sure you watch the video all the way to the end. But before I start this video, I need you guys to check out the sponsor of this video, Skins Monkey. Today's sponsor is Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a CS2 skins trading site and marketplace that provides an instant way to get new skins. My favorite thing about Skins Monkey is that I can trade skins that I no longer want and trade it for a skin that is equal value. If you use code LouisCS2, you get a $5 bonus on your first trade. If you want to buy skins, you can get a 30% deposit bonus plus an extra 5% using my code. The link is down in the description. The first problem that many players have is their crosshair placement. A lot of new players don't think about putting their crosshair at head level, but more importantly, they aren't thinking about where an enemy player could be standing. In order to fix this problem for yourself, you need to find a Prefire map, as you can see on your screen. This will help you kind of get used to common angles that CTs or Ts may be standing in, and it will help you with your crosshair placement on where an enemy can be, so you're not running out looking at random walls when you're trying to enter a site. Now that you know about pre-aiming, what about if a player is sitting in an off angle? Well, this moves on to our second tip, and that's micro flicking. Micro flicking is just a little adjustment that you make with your crosshair that if an enemy isn't where you think they are, you have to make a tiny little adjustment. My favorite way to work on micro flicking is either using a program like Kovacs or AimLabs, or if you want to stay in the Counter-Strike game, you can use this workshop that I will link down in the description. It just helps with the little micro aiming and the little micro adjustments that you might have to make in game if someone is playing one of those nasty off angles. The third reason your aim can be lacking is because you are terrible at tracking your enemy. One of the best ways to work on this is to download an aim training software like AimLabs and practice tracking targets. Another recommendation that I have is going into a deathmatch server and just tracking the enemies, track them for 1 to 2 seconds, and then shoot them. I know you may rack up a lot of deaths and ruin your KD, but at the end, it doesn't even matter because you're just practicing. For the fourth tip, I would argue that this is one of the most important, and that is counter strafing. Counter strafing is what makes you accurate. So even if you practice all the tips before, if your counter strafing is off just by a little bit, your shot isn't going to hit. In order to practice counter strafing, you're either going to have to go in pre-fire maps or simply just go in an offline server and practice going back and forth while shooting when you do counter strafe. I highly recommend this technique if you are a beginner, and it will definitely help you practice this mechanic that you'll need to put any of the steps before this into play and have it actually work. The fifth reason your aim could be lacking is because you change your sensitivity. This is the most important thing about your aim is you need to find your sensitivity. There is a lot of guides out there on YouTube that you can find that if you want to try to find your ideal sensitivity, but if you are new to the game and you are a beginner and you just downloaded Counter-Strike, you should play around and try to find your sensitivity, change it a few times, but mainly stick to one. A lot of the pro players like to stay with the same sensitivity and they've been playing on it for the longest time. I highly recommend find your sensitivity and don't change it. The sixth reason is you probably don't even have a good crosshair. There is a workshop map that I will link down in the description where you can play around and adjust your crosshair. A lot of people like to use big crosshairs, small crosshairs, but it's all preference and you need to find yours. Personally, me, I'm someone who likes a smaller crosshair, but if you look at someone like Stewie2K, he obviously likes the thicker crosshairs with outlines, and that's just his preference, and he's been playing on him his whole career. So you guys need to find what you like and try to stick with it, or just use crosshairs that are similar to it. If you guys do watch my stream, you will see that I change my crosshair a lot, but they are very similar, and I go through about 3. If we look at Elige, he has crosshair binds where he has about 3 different crosshairs in his config that he switches between, and that's because he wants to stay consistent. So I highly recommend that you guys find about 2 to 3 crosshairs that you can use, and then just have them on standby. So if you feel like changing your crosshair, you can change back to the one that you know will work. And for the seventh reason, this one is a big one, and it's practice. And what I mean by practice is you need to practice with purpose. Don't just go into a death match just a death match, or don't aim train just to aim train. You need to identify what you're working on and try to work on it. This is something that I learned in sports that even some of you guys may watching understand. You always practice with a purpose. You don't just want to do something to do it. It's always with a purpose. So when you go in deathmatch, either if you're practicing tracking, counter strafing, whatever it is, make sure you guys are thinking about it the whole time and you're not just practicing to practice. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you guys subscribe, like the video, and comment below if you have any tips for me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.